20 years ago, a seed was planted and cared for. We painstakingly nurtured it and weathered it against adversity until one day it blossomed and the fruits of our labor began to show. Today, millions have learned, shared, and been inspired by what our community has produced. We proudly serve 21 million users from 204 countries in 2019. Through our 85,000 technical articles, code samples, and videos, our 450,000 forum questions, and our highly anticipated conferences and events featuring keynote panels, live streams, and industry experts and influencers, we recognize and reward members for their dedication to the community. Through content contributions and mentorships, we ranked number 2,620 in the world with a reach of millions across our social media channels. Thanks to you, our global community of software and data developers grows stronger each day. For more information, visit us at csharpcorner.com.
Good morning and welcome to this another episode of Growth Mindset Show. My name is Mahesh Chan and we are back again. I know last week, if you joined me, if you were here on the show last week, 2 weeks ago actually, we thought we are going to, change this show name to Build Better Software, but we are back again with Growth Mindset. And one of the reason is I got several messages. I think literally I got 4 or 5 messages that they like the show, they continue to be on the show. So that's why we are continuing to do this growth mindset show. Hey Jitendra, welcome to the show. You're back, I see it. Everybody, welcome to the show. As we know, you can start posting your comments. If you have any questions, how you like, dislike, anything you want to chime in, have some feedback, feel free to just post your comments. MD, welcome back, and thank you again for welcoming me back. Yeah, we are back to this. And it's actually Friday is good for growth mindset for me because it's very casual topic. We talk about certain things. And today's topic, let's talk about today's topic. So today's topic is taking risks and how risk taking can be a big factor in your success. And I'm going to talk about some of the successful people, how they became successful and took risk and all that. So that's the topic today. Deepak, welcome to the show. Deepak joined, it looks like. So before I talk about today's topic about risk taking and success, how they're related, I want a couple of things. I think on C# Corner, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tweeted out that we have launched a company profile page. This is good for people, for our members, authors who have their own companies, or they're planning to have their own companies and they want to promote themselves. So now what you can do is in your profile, you can add your company. When you add in company on your articles, blogs, or anything you do on the website, you can see that your company is there. It's about the company, and then you can go to your company page, you can put more things here. So this, we are going to expand this page more. So think of like, if you are working for Mindcracker and in your profile you say Mindcracker, you're also going to start seeing everybody working for that company on the platform. We are also going to show, let's say if you are a company in future, you want to post a job, you can see all the jobs posted by this company. You can also see activities by this company. So imagine, and you can follow this, right? So in future you can follow this company. So anytime anything is posted by this company, you will see as a notification on your account. So that's cool in the sense, let's say you are interested in news or joining or whatever, some big company, you can then go ahead and follow here. So that's one of the feature we just launched. We are also working on a improvements on the forums, and there's also going to be few other important things announced in coming time. So that's something to just keep you posted on things we are building on C Sharp Corner. We are also planning an event. I think Simon already has a Bhaskar. Welcome to the show. Simon already has a local event happening in a New Delhi area for MEPs. We're also trying to open up and start these chapters back. Chapters and events. We're trying to start those back. So Simon said on May 7th in Noida. So he's posting from Nepal Class Summit. So if you are a local MVP in your city and you want to get involved in these chapter events, reach out to Simon. We are going to actually start the chapter events, local chapter events. All right. With that said, let's start with the today's show. Today's topic is risk taking, and how risk taking is one of the biggest factor when you in a success of a company or a person. So, and if you want to share your any stories that how you took a risk, it kind of get you to the next level, or you did not take a risk, or you plan to take a risk, and you have any questions about that, just ask your questions. We'll get those involved. So, first thing is I want to go back to when I was growing up in India, and in India, when we grow up, our parents tell us to go always take the safer side where, you know, okay, they all this you should go to this college, you should do this subject, you should do these, you should join a big company. Because why? Because there is a job security, so there's less risk. So we are always taught when we're growing up that, okay, don't take too much risk, right? It's a good and bad. And when I say risk taking, I'm not saying you just go and jump from the bridge and just say, okay, what happens if you fly? That's not the risk we're talking about here. Risk we are talking about is a calculated, limited risks which you can afford to take, and it depends on time to time too. Like, right? So if you're young, you are single, you are in college, or you're just starting a job, you have more time. You can take risk, right? But if you're older, you have responsibilities, families, chances are you'll probably take less risk. But the reward of taking risk is much higher, compared to not taking risk. And I was just reading that this is a quote from Mark Zuckerberg, and it's a big quote. You can read it anywhere. But basically, he said that it's in today's world, it's risky not to take risk. He said it's risky not to take risk. Why? Because, and he also explained more, and I'm just paraphrasing. I mean, I'm just kind of, I don't know exact words, but point he was making is that in today's world, the way things are rapidly changing, you got to take risks. If you don't take risks, that's even worse than not taking risks, right? Let's talk about a few other people. Let's talk about Elon Musk, right? So I don't know if you know the story of Elon Musk. He's one of the co-founders of PayPal. When PayPal was sold, he took, he got millions of dollars. He actually took that money and reinvested in Tesla and SpaceX. And both were actually brand new ideas and different technologies, right? One is in space, one is in electric cars, electric vehicles. And both are very risky fields when he started those. And they were very kind of there's very unknowns, right? There was not it wasn't even sure that it will become successful. And fast forward several years, Tesla was also bankrupt few years back. And Elon talks about that. They were almost bankrupt. They were taking a lot of loans. And look at them today. Look at Tesla and SpaceX. Both are doing well. Both are actually thriving pretty good. And you can see even the Tesla is growing. Look at the compare with other companies, its growth is very exponential. So that's what risk brings, right? Risk brings bigger risk brings also bigger rewards, and you have to look at what you can afford to take the risk on. So that's important part on risk taking. Do you guys agree, disagree with something I'm talking about? Feel free to share your stories here, and I will highlight them, post as your comments. If you want to come behind the scene just to share your story, let me know. We will share it here. So we just talk about Mark Zuckerberg, obviously one of the most successful and billionaires, and Elon Musk. We talked about Elon Musk. Let's talk to more people. If you think of richest people, you always think of Bill Gates, and if you look, also you think of more biggest innovators in the world, you always think of Steve Jobs. These are some of the names, but look at Bill Gates, right? He dropped out from Harvard. Harvard is one of the most reputed college in the world, right? If it's not number one, it's definitely in top five, always been. He dropped out after 2 years of degree to start Microsoft. So if you ask me, it's a big risk. You are leaving this reputed college where there's a big, success is already guaranteed. um, Now drop out to start a new company where success is not guaranteed. Every time you start a new company, chances are chances of success are very, very low. So maybe 3% or less. So that's kind of risk Bill Gates took when he started Microsoft. And over the time there were a lot of challenges. If you read bio or history of any of these companies, or look at the life of any of these success people, you will see that they were some of the biggest risk takers. And then let's talk about Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, more you read, I'm sure you heard of that already, that he many times he failed, several times he failed. But what he said is that when you fail, you gotta quickly admit it and learn from it and move on. So if you do make a mistake, you do take a risk, you just gotta learn from it and move on and try not to repeat that again. That's kind of what his message was. But look at Apple now. It became one of the first companies who reached a $1 trillion mark valuation, trillion valuation. Even Apple was one of the first companies, and now there's Tesla is obviously, Microsoft is obviously, Facebook is. Look at all these companies. If you see all the successful companies, you will find that at somewhere somehow there was a big risk taking involved there. So that's kind of point I'm making here is if you want to grow, become really successful in life, risk has to be part of that. Not always, but most of the cases, you should not be afraid of risk taking. And now risk can be calculated. As I said, it doesn't have to be one yes or no. It can be some, you can take some risks, and you can, doesn't have to be all the way. So now, why would you want to take a risk? That's number one. Let's ask this question. Like, you can go join a company, you can work for a company, you can go to growth, you can grow in a company and move on. That's one way to do it. The reason you want to take risk is if you want to do something in life that's not being available to you right now. That's when you want to take a risk, right? So, for example, you say, you know what, I don't want to work for anybody. I really want to start my own company. Or you say, you know what, my passion is this, not what I'm doing now. That's really where you want to take the risk. It's the passion, the things you're passionate about. Because chances are, if you do things what you like and love and passionate about it, that's where you're going to put a lot more energy. So that's really what I'm talking about. So when Steve Jobs took a risk, or Elon Musk took this risk, it's not that he cared about how successful he will be. It's more about what he really wants to do. He really wanted to change the world by building these electric cars. He really wanted to explore the space. He really wanted to figure out how to go beyond this planet. So sure, there are companies, sure, they are, trillions of dollars. Tesla is what, more than $1 trillion. Even SpaceX is billions of dollars of worth, these companies. But behind these companies was the passion. It was the passion of, Elon Musk to do these things, to achieve these things. So that's really what I mean when you want to take this risk. There has to be passion behind it. You cannot just take a risk. You know what I'm going to do because everybody's doing that. That's not really risk taking. That's a more like a decision making, right? So that's what I'm talking about. You guys agree so far? What do you think? Just chime in, post your comments, so I know actually if if we are getting anything out of this. Feel free to just chime in. Definitely post your questions. I think we should do the. What do you guys think next week? We should also start doing the Twitter Spaces, because it seems like it's easy for people to chime in via Twitter Spaces. Dhanush, welcome to the show. Good evening. I'm sure you're probably joining from India. Welcome to the show. If you're joining us from other places, if you are in the US, this is 12 o'clock. Early afternoon, 12:16 p.m. If you are in Europe, it's evening there. India, it's night. So, all right. So, the reason why we don't take risk is because of failure. We have this fear of failure. Okay. And as long as you have this fear of failure, you will never achieve your full potential. That's a fact. We never achieve full potential. We have fear of failure because we are going to fail. And that's one thing. I was never afraid of taking risks. I do not mind getting failure, but what I do mind is not try something which I don't want to do. I have tried so many things. If you a lot of people don't know that, but I probably was involved or started or partner or co-founder of probably, I don't know, 15 companies in last 25 years or even more if you ask all of them. And probably three of them are really, you can call them doing okay. I'm not talking about the successful like a billions of dollars company, but they are doing okay. None of them is really successful as Tesla or anything. But point I'm making is that it's okay to take risks and it's okay to try. But guess what? Now I will never have a regret that I didn't try that. Because you can put that to bed. You can always go back to your regular work where you will get salary every month regardless of what. So that's the point I'm making about it. And then if you go back to this whole growth mindset show, when I started this growth mindset show, the first show, it was always talks about the risk taking, the fear of failure. That's how it goes really. So if you even want to reach your full potential, and you have to unlock you have to unlock this kind of whatever the area in your mind is, that you're not afraid of failure. If you do that, you are going to explore the areas that are outside of your current comfort zone or your present comfort zone, right? Comfort zone, what is comfort zone? Let's talk about that. What is comfort zone? You're living a comfortable life. Either it's work, personal life, doesn't matter. You have a job, you go there, you have certain amount of work, and then you get salaries, you know. But what happens in comfort zone is that once you start becoming a comfortable in life, you start working hard. And I'm just talking about in general, not I'm saying specific to you. I'm just saying in general. When you start working hard, that's when growth stops. And I'll take you an example. Anup, welcome to the show. Good to see you back. Take the risk or lose the chance. Yeah, great, agree. So let's think about let's take a perspective. Let's take some calculated example. Let's say You go to gym, right? You start going to gym, and like, what, I'm in comfort zone, I'm just going to do exercise only as I can be, easily I can do it. I don't want to hurt myself, I don't want to push myself harder, I don't want to sweat a lot. What will happen? Anybody? What will happen if you do that? Your body is still going to be same. You may be in a good shape, but you're not going to see big growth. You agree? Imagine, let's say you go to gym and you start 25 pounds every day, and you just do 25 pounds because it's easy. It's easy to, it's no, I'm not working hard, I'm not pushing hard, I go every day, do the 25-pound, come back. Chances are your body will get used to that weight, and you're not going to grow. You're not going to have big muscle. Whatever you are, that's what you will be. Why? Because you are in a comfort zone. That's where your comfort is. Welcome to the show, baseball fan. Where are you joining us from? Let us know, since I can't really know. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about growth mindset and fear, risk taking, and what's the, how risk taking can affect or impact the success, your success in life, and also both professional life as well as personal life. So sorry, I got a call, sorry about that. So we were talking about, let's say you go to gym and you're doing same weight every day, you're not going to see a growth. Same applies to the mind. Okay, when we live in our comfort zone, we do same thing again and again because we are not working hard, we don't have to think hard, all those things. Same thing with the growth mindset. Our mind, our brain, or let's call cells in the brain, they grow. You generate new cells, neurons in our brain when you work harder, when you think harder, when you do things which you are not used to. So for example, if you start solving problems that are hard, not just, what happens, your brain has to think, means they have to work harder. So similar to our body, think of that, our brain is also a works in the same way. Harder it has to work, harder it has to think, more neurons grow in your brain, and stronger it gets, better it gets, bigger it gets. So same concept applies everywhere. If you want to get most out of your brain, you got to start working hard, you got to make it work, you got to make it think, you got to solve problems. Scientists say the only way to grow, there's two common ways to grow your brain. It's running, speed running, not walking, and also all thinking and solving problems and giving, so that's the same concept applies everywhere. Hopefully I'm making sense, guys. So that's really, when you go back and think about some things, you want to think even at work. If you join a company, and if that company is not making you work hard, and I'm not saying harder doesn't mean really, labor hard. Harder means you're getting new problems, you're involved in new projects, you're solving new problems and learning new things. All those means your brain is working harder. Brain hard, when brain working harder doesn't mean that, you really have to stress out, right? It means really you are not in same comfort zone, you are not doing same thing again and again, you're learning something new all the time. So every time you learn something new, your brain has to adapt and learn and have more information, and that's how it grows, right? It's the same idea here. So if you are working in a company and you're not being challenged, you may feel that it's a great company because I'm okay, I'm comfort zone, but that may actually be bad for you as a person. That's my theory. Like, my theory is, if I'm not being pushed and I'm not being asked, or I'm not doing myself, I think that's bad. So that's kind of my theory with that, and I think Bhaskar agrees with me. Um, and same thing applies everywhere in general. So when you think, go home and say, what, um, am I growing in anything? It can be your physical body, it can be your brain, it can be your professional life, it can be your personal life. So that's, you always want to see that, are you living in a comfort zone? But if you want to grow, do you need to go outside of comfort zone? If you do need to go outside of comfort zone, there's a risk out there. And how big is the risk? You don't have to take a big risk. It can be a calculated risk, but it's okay to take some risks, right? So that's kind of, I'm thinking about that. So that was the only topic today. I know it's a short. We came back again. But if you want to motivate yourself, um, and think about success and risk taking, read some of the biographies. And if you search Google that, how most successful people in the world, what kind of risk they took, and how that risk taking actually changed their whole life. I'm not talking about the just change. Like if you go back to Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, he was failed. He was kicked out from the company he founded. He did some soul searching. He went to India. He went to did some yoga and all those things. When he came back, he did same thing again. He just took some other risk and challenges. So that will give you some motivation, even to, if anything you want to do in life, you can at least try. You can achieve. I'm not sure if it's going to be successful, but at least you got to give it a try. So you will say, you know what, at least I try that. So with that said, that ends up today's show. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put your question. We are going to be back again next Friday. And Simon, anything else you want to plug in about upcoming conferences or anything? Um, with that said, everybody, good to see everybody. I see thank you, MD, Dhanush, Bhaskar, Anup, and obviously Deepak. Few other people joined us today. Welcome back to the show, and I'm excited to be here, and we're going to be back next week with different topic. Thank you.